You're welcome to another edition of Teach Yourself QuickBooks. Um, and I guess we're making progress. If you find yourself on this particular section, I believe you should be able to have learned how to do the basic setup, like I explained initially in other module. Like your customer setup, your bank setup, your VAT, being able to set up your inventories too, and also enter your sales transaction. I guess so, from your invoice, receiving your payment, recording deposit and your receipt, and also knowing when to use create invoice and create receipt. Okay, in this section we're also going to be talking about something very interesting that every business owner should know how to understand, or accounting graduate, when you find yourself using an accounting software, and that is how to record purchases. Very important. You should be able to know how to record purchases, because these are vital parts of a business. There's no way you sell what there's no way you can record what you have sold without having a corresponding entry of how much those products were bought. So you should be able to know how to balance these two sections. Then you'll be able to calculate your profit or loss. Very important. Now here I'm going to discuss how to set up how to record your purchase order. Now when you look at this section initially, I said as a beginner there are things you need to understand when you're interacting with QuickBooks for the first time, and that's being able to follow the arrow and letting and understanding the next point of entry to make after saving a particular transaction, after saving a particular window. Like I explained how your create invoice leads to receive payment, and how receiving payment leads you to record deposit. Same also applies to the purchase section of your QuickBooks. When you look at the purchase section, you also see similar thing holding. Like we have our purchase order. Like with this purchase order is when you send an order to your supplier. Now basically this section, it's I think it's most suitable for product based businesses that buy and resell. Like you run a supermarket, you run a retail store, wholesale distribution company. So if you find yourself in this industry, like also manufacturing too, you find yourself in this industry, this area is very important. And aside from that, if you want to track your stock, you run a business where you are most interested in tracking your stock movement, when they were bought, and how many you have in warehouse. I think this feature is also important for you to understand. Now the first one here is create purchase order. Before you buy from a supplier, some businesses they send an order, so it's like a purchase order. They call it purchase order, like an order that you're sent to your supplier requesting a certain amount of a particular product, or it contains a summary of what you want the supplier to send to you. Now when you make a purchase order, what are you expecting from the supplier? You're expecting the supplier to acknowledge that order, and it can acknowledge that order by sending you a reply, oh okay, and after okay I've received it. And after then, what are you expecting? You're expecting supplier to send the product which you have requested for. At the point of sending such product, a bill is supposed to accompany that product. The bill summarizes the cost of the product and the amount you're supposed to pay to the supplier. When you receive that bill, it leads to what we call account payable. So the supplier is expecting you to pay for that bill. So you can see the way we dealt with invoice. Same also apply for sales. Same also applies for purchases. Now let's see how a typical transaction for that works. Firstly, you go to purchase order. When you click the purchase order, you're supposed to see the purchase order window pop up. Now this is the purchase order window we're talking about here. Now with the purchase order window, you select the supplier which you're buying your product from. Example, if we're buying our product from Dangote Cement, Dangote PLC, yes, you select Dangote PLC. Now assuming we're buying Dangote Cement now. Now if you look at this item, Dangote Cement is not here. What are we supposed to do? We add new. Like I said before, in QuickBooks, when you have a list of items to select and what you want to select is not there, you're expected to add new. So you come here, you click add new. What are we selecting here? To stock parts, because it's used for item we buy and we sell. So here you come here, you enter cement. Cost of the cement is 1,500. Then we will sell the item for 2,500. When we sell our cement, it's an account to track that is a sales account. So our stock info, you can see this. How many cement do we have in Ikeja? We have 120 bags. We have 25 bags at Lekki. We have 25 bags at Lekki. Then we have 34 bags and Yaba. We click OK, then OK here. So you can see how we are adding our item without going through the item list. This is an alternative way to add. So if we're buying bags of cement from Dangote and we're buying additional 100 from Dangote, now here is the customer. This you use this section if you're buying that cement for purpose of supplying to a particular customer. But if you're buying it for the purpose of reselling to all your customers, you don't need to select here. So you review your transaction entry. If the transaction is vatable, you select VAT, which means that yes, you know Dangote will be charging you VAT on that amount. So that's what you look at here. But if it's not, you just leave non-vatable. So here we are making an order of 100 bags of cement at 1,500 naira. This is what we're sending to Dangote. So here you click save and close. Now what we have entered here would not have any effect on our figure because we have only sent a request. It's like saying, oh please send me 100 bags of cement. Does that mean that I am obliged to pay you immediately? No, because you are yet to supply that cement. So the next thing after I send a purchase order is to receive the stock. So when you click receive the stock here, receive stock, you can see now we have bill. So what that means is that we are receiving the stock with bill. Do you understand? So what you need to do now is click here, select Dangote PLC. You can see what is coming up here. Open purchase order exists for this supplier. Do you want to receive against one or more of this order? What that means is that we are receiving a bill from Dangote. For selecting Dangote, the system is telling us that there was an order that was sent initially to Dangote. Are we receiving this bill against that order? If you say yes, it will import the value of that order into this section. When you click yes, you can see this is the order we just sent. You select this and click OK. Now we can see the 100 bags of cement we ordered from Dangote has now been transferred to a bill, which means that the supplier has finally sent it to us. So we are yet to want to enter it into the system here. So this is where the transaction will have effect on our reports, because now that we have received the stock and the stock also comes with bill, we have an obligation to meet up, which is what? The payment of that cement, payment of the cost of the cement. So here we'll come here, we'll click present the reference number, we'll select it. Now you can see bill due date. We received it on the 27th. Now we're expected to meet up to pay for that bill on the 6th of June. That's exactly like 1 month or thereabout. You review again and click save and close. So you can see that we don't have much to do here. We are only sending a request to our supplier, and after that we received the bill with the stock too. You receive the bill with the stock. Now if the quantity of stock you receive is less than what you requested for, that means you need to edit this. Example, assuming we receive 90, our supplier is saying that, oh, I don't have 100 bags of cement, I only have 90. Then you enter 90 here, which means the price will now reflect the cost of 90 bags, which is 135 as against 150,000 naira. Once you're done, you click the save and close. Now sorry, we need to assign a site. Now the site that we are, that's what it means is that if you're buying this stock, it has to be grown, it has to go to a particular site. So we want to assign it to Ikeja. That's what we're taking it to. Or let's use another branch. Let's not use Ikeja every time. We use Lekki here. Then click save and close. Now you can see that we have saved it. Now what is now the effect of this transaction? Now the effect is that when you now go to report suppliers and payable supplier balance summary, you will see now that we are now owing Dangote the money. Now you can see this is the total balance after the previous transaction. To confirm that, double click on this. When you double click on this, you can see this is the bill we received of 135. Initially we had a payable with him, now with the company, now we have another payable again. So the total payables we have with them is 164,000 naira. So this is how to enter purchase order, receive stock, and also look at your transaction to view all the receivables or the payables that you have. Now another window is when you go to report, you see your purchases. You can also look at your purchase by item summary. You go to purchase by item summary, you can see the purchase we just made, which is the cement of 90 bags. That is showing here. Now the next thing now is, after we have received the stock with the bill, how do we now pay off the bill? Maybe you want to pay part or want to pay full. To pay the bill, you go to pay bill. This pay bill is used to settle outstanding expenses. This pay bill is used to settle outstanding expenses and also to settle your supplier for goods sent to you. So when you go to pay bill, it will show you a list of all the bills that are outstanding. You can see here that these are all the suppliers and the amounts that are due. Like here now, we can see the recent transaction we have entered, which is Dangote PLC 135. Now, assuming you want to pay Dangote 100,000 naira, you come here, you click this. When you click that, you come here, amount to pay is 100. You enter 100 here. You can see, when you enter 100, you now select the bank from which the payment is going to be made from. If it's from GT Bank, you select what is our payment method. You are paying by bank transfer. Click online banking, maybe with internet banking. Then here you now see pay selected bill. When you click pay selected bill here, you have saved it. So you can see that this is a payment summary done. Let's confirm our balance. When you go back to pay bill again, you will see that your balance has reduced to 35,000 naira. That's how to pay your bill. You can see now. So this is very straightforward. Enter your purchase order, enter receive stock, and also the next thing to do is to pay bill. So when you pay your bill, that's all. Now, which means that the 90 units of bags of cement that we bought should also add to our already existing balance. So we go to report stock. We now see quantity on hand. You can see here that our bags of cement at the Keja is now 120. So at Lekki is now 115. When you double click on this, you will see the summary of bags of cement at Lekki. Initially we had a balance of 25. Now we added additional 90. So 90 plus 25 will give us 115. So this is a stock report for Lekki only. So it's quite straightforward. There's no much entry when it comes to purchases. But if you have any special case you want me to discuss with you, you can always send a mail to info@accountingsoftware.com.ng, and we will be very happy to discuss how this software can work for your business in that particular regard and all that. So I think this is just a summary of how to enter purchase order, how to receive stock, and also how to pay bill and all that. Now that is one angle. The second part again is if you are now making the purchase by cash, because here we are assuming we're making the purchase on credit. That's the reason we are going through the process. Now assuming we are not making the purchase by cash, we will send a request, they present the product to us and we pay them. Or sometimes we don't even need to send a request, we just go to the supplier, we give them money and they supply us immediately. So here we don't need to start sending requests and all that. The easiest way to treat that is to go to write check. When you go to write check, it's like you're going to the open market directly to go and buy. You don't need to send any purchase order. So you come here, write check, you select the bank from which the payment will be made, its current account, any bank current account, pay to the order of, you select the company, Assuming you're buying from Dangote 2, you select Dangote here. You can see it's telling you that open purchase order. That's the one we said no. This is a fresh, okay, this is a fresh order. We went to Dangote directly to make a payment or all that. So here you now come here, you select item. When you select item, you come to item here. So what are we buying? We're buying cement. You click cement here. When you click cement, you enter the number of bags you're buying. Mind you, we don't need to send purchase order because this is a cash transaction. Oh, we went to the market, we are buying immediately, and cash is being paid. So there is no purchase order, there is no series of enter purchase order, receive stock, pay bill, because here we are not owing. We only use bill to pay your outstanding expenses or outstanding bills from your supplier. So here we are only going to the market to pay cash, no credit transaction. So you go to right check, you select your stock, look at the item again. Oh, which site are we buying this item for? We're buying for Yaba. You select Yaba, you review your transaction, you click save and close. When you click save and close, to confirm that that item has been added, we'll go to your stock, quantity on hand, then you look at Yaba location. This is Yaba location here. Then you double click, this is cement. You double click on this figure here, you can see that initially it was 24, 34. Now we added additional 20, it's now 54. So adding your purchases when you make payment by cash, it's also straightforward. So there's no hustle. I think this is the shortest part of this series and all that. So you can always go through over and over again. Practice apply to your specific business scenarios and all that. Like I said, if you have any question to ask, you can always send a mail to info@accountingsoftware.com.ng. Thank you.